All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The 2023 National Football League season is off to the races and it's in full effect. We saw the defending champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, the depleted Kansas City Chiefs, fall at home this past Thursday night to the upstart Detroit Lions. And if you're the Lions, you definitely have to feel good about that victory. And you want to try to keep that momentum going as you look to win the NFC North for the first time in franchise history. And of course, to get to the postseason. But with that said, we have some tremendous games on tap for tomorrow afternoon, as well as a big one on Monday night. And with that said, here are my picks for week number one in this NFL season. Now, you're going to start off with the Carolina Panthers traveling to take on the Atlanta Falcons. You got two young teams that are building, and they're hopeful that they could run this division for the next couple of years. A couple of promising rookies to keep an eye on. The first overall pick at quarterback for Carolina. I'm talking about Bryce Young, the youngster out of Alabama, and of course, the former Texas star at running back, Bijan Robinson for the Falcons. You think about these two teams, there's no love lost between either one of them. Typically, when the Panthers and Falcons face off, it's a close one. You look at this contest, Atlanta comes in favored by 3.5 points tomorrow at home. And I'm going to take the Falcons on the over on that one, as I'm going to take them to win this one by the score of 27-23. Now, a battle in the AFC North is you got the Cincinnati Bengals facing off with the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati comes into this contest as the defending AFC North champions. They're also coming in favored by 2 points. Both of these teams have plenty of aspirations to make the postseason. You look at the quarterbacks, of course, Deshaun Watson, he's now had a full training camp with the Cleveland Browns, while you got Joe Burrow, who, has been dealing with the calf injury throughout the postseason. But we just saw Joe Burrow cash in a big way just before the start of the season, as he's now the highest paid player in the National Football League. You look at this contest. I think both teams are playoff caliber teams. Of course, this is going to be a back and forth affair. But when it's all said and done, I'm going to give Cincinnati the slight edge at home, on the road rather, to win this one by the score of 24-23. Now, in the AFC South, you're going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to take on the Indianapolis Colts. And for Jacksonville, you look at this contest right here. They're looking to build off of winning the AFC South last year, while Indianapolis is starting over with a rookie at quarterback and Anthony Richardson. You look at Trevor Lawrence at quarterback for the Jags, and of course, he's under the tutelage of veteran head coach Doug Peterson. Jacksonville has done a good job putting talent around the youngster and Trevor Lawrence, and I think Jacksonville will be able to build off of last year's trip to the postseason. Thus, I'm going to take the Jaguars in their season opener by the score of 30-20. Now, in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Vikings, the defending NFC North champions, are going to look to take advantage of a rebuilding Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Of course, no more Dalvin Cook at running back for the Vikings, but you still have quarterback Kirk Cousins and wide receiver Justin Jefferson. For Tampa Bay, is it going to be Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask at quarterback? More than likely, it's going to be Baker. I'll tell you like this: Minnesota comes into this contest favored by 5. Tampa Bay will be game, but I think the Vikings pull away in this one and get the 34-17 win at home. Now, in New Orleans, you're going to have the Saints hosting the Tennessee Titans. New Orleans comes into this contest favored by 3. And, for Derek Carr, the Saints do starting quarterback, he's traded in the silver and black of the Raiders for the black and gold of the Saints. Hands down, this is the best team that Derek Carr has been on. A lot of talent around him offensively, but a lot of talent around him defensively as well. And I'm really looking to see how this Saints defense goes out there and tries to slow down veteran running back Derrick Henry for the Titans. New Orleans comes into this contest favored by 3 points. I'm going to take the over on that, and I'm going to take the Saints at home by a touchdown 24-17. Now in the Steel City, it's a battle of NFL royalty as the San Francisco 49ers are set to clash with the Pittsburgh Steelers. San Francisco comes into this contest favored by 2.5 points, but you look at it, both of these teams are definitely playoff worthy. Of course, the Niners, they've gotten to the NFC Championship game in each of the last 2 years. And when you think about these franchises as a whole, you're talking about 11 Lombardi trophies combined. The new look Steelers, their offense came on as the second half, during the second half of last year with rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett, and they want to build off of that. For the 49ers, of course, they just got defensive end Nick Bosa in. Is he going to be on a pitch count on this one? Because he really dictates what San Francisco is able to do defensively. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on from there. So I look at it like this: will Pittsburgh definitely try to exploit that and take advantage of that? Absolutely. And if you're Pittsburgh, you have to know that if Nick Bosa is in the game, more than likely it's going to be passing. Uh, a passing situation where the Niners are anticipating the Steelers passing. But I like the Steelers' young running back in Najee Harris. I like the talent that the Steelers have around Kenny Pickett on offense, and I like their defense with TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick and others. Now, for the 49ers, they're going to bring it defensively as well with the likes of Fred Werner and, of course, Nick Bosa. And then this offense with Brock Purdy running things at quarterback. You got the veteran, the all-purpose man, Christian McCaffrey at running back, Debo Samuel, George Kittle, and we could just go down the list of the talent. A lot of talent, a lot of Pro Bowl caliber talent on this field on display tomorrow in Western Pennsylvania. But when it's all said and done, I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home by the score of 24-20. Now you're going to have the Washington Commanders hosting the Arizona Cardinals. And for Washington, they come in favored by a touchdown. It's going to be interesting to see what we see from the Commanders this year, but make no mistake about it, the Arizona Cardinals are in rebuild. And for me, I think this is going to be a very long year in the desert for the Bird Gang. Thus, I'm going to take the Commanders at home by the score of 24-20. TFX, how are you doing today? You said the six pack is out of the fridge. I told you about that last night. So let's go here for week number 1. And keeping things rolling, you're going to have the Houston Texans traveling to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore comes into this contest favored by 9.5 at home. They have a happy quarterback now in Lamar Jackson that he got his money, and also the talent that has been put around him at the wide receiver position now, which includes the likes of veteran Odell Beckham Jr. You look at the Texans, they're starting a rookie, CJ Stroud at quarterback. And for me, this is going to be a very tough indoctrination to the NFL for CJ Stroud going up against this stingy Ravens defense. For all of you fantasy buffs out there, if you've got the Ravens defense, I definitely start them in this one. Baltimore is favored by 9.5, and I think they win this one going away by the score of 30-17. Now at Soldier Field, it's a long time battle. Longtime rivals get it on once again as you got the Green Bay Packers facing off against the Chicago Bears. Chicago comes into this contest favored by 1.5 points. Both of these young teams want to get off on the right foot. For Chicago, they've got Justin Fields at quarterback, but we really don't know what Justin Fields can do as a thrower because so far in his brief NFL career, the Bears have failed to put the talent around him on offense. It's the Jordan Love debut for Green Bay as the keys to the franchise are officially in his hands, but he's going to have to do it without Christian Watson, one of his big deep threats in the passing game. And let's see if this Bears offense can take advantage of that. I think the Bears are definitely going to try to throw the football a little bit more than they did last year, obviously. But I think in this contest, they're going to have to rely on the legs of Justin Fields a little bit more. And because of that, I'm going to take Chicago in a tight one at home by the score of 20-17. Now it's an AFC West battle as you're going to have the Denver Broncos hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Denver comes into this contest favored by 3.5 as this is the debut for Sean Payton as the Broncos head coach. Will Sean Payton be able to fix veteran quarterback Russell Wilson? That's the million-dollar question. Or was this last year simply a hiccup in the career of Wilson? We got to wait and see. For the Raiders, they're debuting a veteran quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. Very comfortable, very familiar with what Josh McDaniels likes to do. But will it be enough for the Raiders to go on the road and get the win tomorrow? I don't think so. I like this Denver D, and I'm going to take the Broncos at home by the score of 20 to 24, rather, to 17. Now in Foxborough, you're going to have the New England Patriots hosting the defending NFC champions in the Philadelphia Eagles. And a lot of people feel that the Eagles not only have what it takes to get back to the Super Bowl, but this time win it. Philadelphia comes into this contest favored by 4 points. What is Bill Belichick and his defense going to be able to do against quarterback Jalen Hurts in this Philadelphia offense? We've got to wait and see. One big advantage for Philadelphia going into this contest, their defense going up against quarterback Mac Jones. Mac Jones has been up and down in his brief career, and I do believe that this Eagles defense will be able to take advantage of that. Thus, I'm going to take Philly on the road tomorrow by the score of 29-20. Now, out in SoFi, you're going to have the Miami Dolphins getting ready to clash with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers come into this contest favored by 3 points. You have two teams right here that both made the playoffs last year. Both were one and done. Both were very close to getting wins, and they want to try to build off of that playoff experience in order to have a bigger 2003 season. Of course, for Miami, we know about the talented wide receiver with the likes of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but can Tua get the football to them consistently? We got to wait and see. Justin Herbert at quarterback for the Chargers, he just got paid big this offseason. And of course, he's looking to build off of that. This Chargers team, do they have a hangover as a whole from last year's meltdown in Jacksonville in the postseason? We've got to wait and see. But nonetheless, I'm going to take the Bolts to squeak by the Fins tomorrow at home by the score of 24-23. Now, in the Pacific Northwest, you're going to have the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Los Angeles Rams. Seattle comes into this contest favored by 5. And for some people, they feel that not only can the Seahawks contend with the Niners in the West this year, they also have what it takes to possibly win this division. You look at this young and exciting Seahawks defense. I think they're going to go after Rams veteran quarterback Matt Stafford tomorrow to make life uncomfortable for him. And then you look at what the Seahawks have at the receiver position. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and like I said before, keep an eye out for rookie wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jengba. I think he's going to have a big season for the Seahawks, and I think their big season starts with a 31-19 win tomorrow night. Now, a big time doubleheader this weekend at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We've got the Giants and Cowboys on Sunday night in an NFC East battle, and then we have the Jets and Bills on Monday night in an AFC East clash. Now, for the Cowboys, they come in tomorrow. They're going to go into tomorrow night's contest favored by 3.5 over their NFC East brethren. And for Dallas, they have all of the talent in the world at the skill positions, but it comes down to the quarterback. Can Dak Prescott become more consistent? We have to wait and see because last year, unfortunately for Dak and the Cowboys, he led the NFL in interceptions in spite of the fact that he missed 5 games. How is that possible? I'm not sure, but he did it. Tony Pollard, how healthy is he going to be at running back? And I'll tell you one thing to keep an eye out for Dallas in this contest. Rookie running back Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State. You watched him in college. He was very elusive. He has that Darren Sproles type feel to him. And one thing we've seen over the years with the Giants defense, they've had a problem with the smaller, elusive running backs. You look recently with the Philadelphia Eagles with the likes of Boston Scott. You think about previously with the likes of Darren Sproles and even Brian Westbrook. The Giants defense has always had problems with that. So I think Deuce Vaughn could have an impact in this contest. But if you're the Giants and you're this team with Daniel Jones at quarterback, and of course, I know that they've invested a lot in Daniel Jones this year, both financially and with what they put around him. You look at it like this. For the Giants to take that next step after they came out of nowhere and made the postseason last year, they've got to find a way to beat Dallas and Philadelphia. Now, with Philadelphia, they're still not even in their class. They lost 3 times to the Eagles last year, twice to the Cowboys. Both games with the Cowboys were very close. And if you're the Giants, you got to try to find a way to get over the hump and set the tone. How do you do that? Number one, you got to move the chains on third down. And I think a lot of that is you got to get the ball to Saquon Barkley, whether it's as a runner or as a passer. But either way, the Giants definitely have to establish the line of scrimmage offensively. The Giants might not have the services of tight end Darren Waller, who they acquired this offseason from the Raiders, but keep an eye out for rookie wide receiver Jalen Hyatt. I think he can have a big season for this team. Can the Giants defense put enough pressure on Dak Prescott? That's going to be important because Wink Martindale, the Giants defensive coordinator, likes to keep his corners on an island. And of course, more than likely, the Giants could be starting two rookies back there in the secondary tomorrow night. So let's see what happens with this one. I think it's going to be a typical back and forth NFC clash between the Giants and Cowboys. Historically, the Giants play Dallas tougher at home than they do on the road. The Giants are the underdog in this contest. But with that said, I'm going to take New York to pull it out Sunday night with a 23-20 win. TFX, you're saying Giants got to play better in their division. You think they're 2-10-1 in the last two seasons. I'll tell you like this, their only wins over the last couple of years for the most part within the NFC East has come against Washington. That's the one team Daniel Jones can beat. But like I said to just now, and I said even in my NFC East preview a couple of days ago, for the Giants to take that next step, they've got to find a way to beat Dallas and Philly, and it starts tomorrow night. And as we're going to stay in the Meadowlands this weekend on Monday night, another big one, as you're going to have the New York Jets, the new look New York Jets hosting the Buffalo Bills. Now, Buffalo, they're the team to beat in the AFC East. They're in that catbird seat as the division champs for the last couple of years. Buffalo does come into this contest favored by 2.5. Both of these teams not only have playoff aspirations, they also have Super Bowl aspirations. And of course, all of that changed for the Jets when they went out there and made the move to acquire quarterback Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers this offseason. Changed things. We talked about the Jets last year, and you could clearly see that basically this team was a quarterback away from being a contender. Now they have that quarterback. So what are they going to do? This Jets defense, can they go out there and make life tough for Bills quarterback Josh Allen? I think they can, because if you go back to last season, the Jets were right there with Buffalo in both of those contests. I believe they beat the Bills at home, and they had the opportunity to sweep Buffalo with Mike White at quarterback last year before things fell apart. But the Jets at that point, they were in the mix for a postseason spot before things spiraled out of control. And a lot of it was due to the quarterback position. So this Jets team knows that they can hang with Buffalo. Like I talked about in my AFC East preview, Buffalo has to find a way to run the football better. And for them to run the football better, you can't just sit back there and have Josh Allen just running around trying to do everything like Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. You've got to run the football if you're Buffalo. Von Miller, I do believe he's beginning the season on a pup list. So that's going to change things for this pass rush for the Bills. Will the Jets be able to take advantage of it? We got to wait and see. But nonetheless, MetLife Stadium is going to be rocking this weekend. I'm not sure when it's going to be louder, whether it's going to be Sunday night for the Giants or Monday night for the Jets. But I guarantee you this, the Jet fans are going to show up and show out in full effect on Monday night. And if they could, they put on the pads and try to go out there and win this contest for this team. Both of these teams need to make a statement, especially the Jets in this one. Buffalo is favored by 2.5, but I'm going to take the Jets at home to win this one by the score of 31-27. TFX, you're also saying you like the Jets. Of course, Rodgers is there, but Wilson and Sauce are just too good. Listen, Sauce Gardner is the real deal. And I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup with him and Stephon Diggs going at it on Monday night. You're saying enjoy the games. I can't wait until tomorrow. Listen, brother, I am right there with you on that one. But folks, that is going to wrap it up And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care. Thanks again, and for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast on YouTube. And very quickly, TFX, definitely thank you for chiming in. Definitely appreciate the support, and I definitely want to hear what you got to say in the next couple of days after week 1 for this season. But until then, thanks again, folks, for tuning in. Be well and enjoy the NFL action this weekend.